With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin. The Renewable Energy Commission met Monday night and spent over an hour talking about changes to the way Barnstable residents dispose of trash. Paul Tilton, DPW Director in Sandwich, gave a presentation of that town's recently adopted pay-as-you-throw system.
Initially, we thought that it would be best to bring someone on board who had experience in pay-as-you-throw and to know how to manage the system. And outside of the distribution and the manufacturing of the bags, this company also oversees the entire accounting process. So they take care of the accounting, they just give us the information. So it makes it a lot easier for us for the first couple of years. Doesn't mean we're going to do it ourselves in the future, but we just want to have someone on board who is experienced to bring us up to speed. So in the future, if we do want to go it alone, we at least have a couple of years under our belt to know how to handle it at that point.
Will that change the cost? Is the cost reflected in?
It will. It increases the cost because they make a profit off the bags.
Right.
So they'll charge you a price for the bags, whatever bags you get, and that's their profit. And they offer different services as well. They'll just provide you the bags if you want, but if you want the additional services, that fee will increase. That, again, as I said earlier, that was off the state bid, and there's other contractors as well. You can take a look at the state bid for that. But with this company on hand, it provides more accountability as well. So if there's any issues along the way with the bags in the stores, that they're accountable for that. Another decision you have to make is the bag versus the tags. And I'll show you the bags. You just sort of pass these around. There's all kinds of different sizes you can get, and there's different strengths in terms of the mill. This is the 33-gallon bag. I'm sorry, 30-gallon bag. The one option can go is with the bags, and there's larger bags as well. We went with the smaller bag to try to accommodate the elderly who don't generate as much trash. We also offered a cheaper price for that 8-gallon bag, so the price per weight is lower than these other two.
Are they biodegradable?
These are not.
Are they available?
I don't know if the company makes them or not, but that was a question that was brought up. But the fact that it goes to the incinerator doesn't really matter. If it was going to a landfill, then it probably would matter. But they're all getting burnt anyway, so it doesn't make much of a difference. The other option is to go with tags. There's some towns that have used the tags and switched to the bags. Some towns are still using the tags. The tags are just, you purchase the tags and you put them around on top of the bag. Count the town color, whatever you might want for that. The problem with the bags is a little more expensive than the tags, obviously, and residents sometimes prefer their own bags. However, the issue with the tags is that occasionally some of these tags will fall off in bad weather. They might come off. I've talked to some DPWs that say people make fake tags. It's easier to make a fake tag than it is to make a fake bag. But I think the biggest problem with the tags is it's tough to identify them as you're coming in, because you really need to have someone taking a look at the bags or the tags. And if you try to find all the tags on the bags, it's going to be difficult to monitor that as they're coming into the transfer station. So that's the main reason why we stuck with the bags. The other decision you have to make is, and I'm not sure this is going to apply to you, but the fiscal versus a calendar year payment. We started this July. We've typically been on the calendar year schedule for sticker fees, and so there's a little bit of confusion there, and some people are upset that we started July, even though we collected the sticker fee in January. So what we did is to cover that, to offset the additional bag fees that started in July, we gave them an extra half year on their sticker. So they essentially have a year and a half on that sticker fee. And so they get to go all the way to next July before they have to pay a sticker fee again. So that's just a decision you have to make as far as how you want to deal with the cash flow and what you're comfortable with. The sticker and the bag fee, that's sort of a balancing act as to what you want to charge for people. You don't want to charge more for the bag fee and less for the sticker, or do you want to switch that around? I would recommend that the initial year, at least, you have a higher sticker fee to cover your fixed costs, because if you rely solely on bags, you're not sure how many bags you're going to sell. So make sure that you have a higher sticker fee to cover that first year or 2 years. And if you want to adjust after that, you have the the option to do that. And I'll be going in front of my selectmen each year just to talk about the program and the cost savings, the revenue, and we'll make adjustments based upon those numbers as well. I did an experiment with my family. I typically generate about, 40-45% recycling, but I wanted to go a step further, and so what I did is I took my garbage bag, I emptied it on my floor, my garage floor, well, not my house. And I had my kids go through the bag and pick out things that could further be recycled, paper, some plastics, and just things that were either too lazy to or just didn't realize that you could recycle. And when we removed all of those out of the trash bin, put them into recycling, we were able to meet about a 65-70% recycling rate, which is pretty significant. And you can probably even go higher than that, because there's some things that, if you really want to make the effort, you can do that. And just this table shows what happens when you reach that rate at 65 right here. If you look to the far right, that's the 45 I showed you before. This is a 65, and you can see the difference between the 45 and 55. And if you go down to a family of 5 right here, if you're recycling like 65%, it's only $405 per year. You compare that to the comparison right here, the sticker fee system with no pay-as-you-throw, it's going to be $427 5 years out. You actually pay less as a family of 5 than you would for the sticker fee. So
the Renewable Energy Commission is considering several options, including curbside pickup. The town's contract with CMAS will end in 2014. Renewing that contract could mean a considerable cost increase for the town and residents. Monday morning, the licensing authority met and held a show cause hearing for the popular Mexican eatery San Diego's.
Cinco de Mayo, myself and 2 other officers went into San Diego's. We were there as a result of a grant that we'd been given by the state, and part of that grant is going into different establishments and watching to see whether there's patrons there underage and to see whether they're been served any alcohol.
Then came the response from San Diego's.
Our request would be that even though this is a serious infraction, this is one of the more serious in the list of infractions that you have in your regulations. We recognize that. There's no dispute about that. And we understand what the consequences are. But I would ask you to consider the long history that this particular establishment has had, the nature of the establishment, the diligence with which they proceed, and they have proceeded in their efforts to try to stop this sort of thing. The fact that this particular individual was really engaged in a concerted effort to undermine them and deceive them. And I think it's interesting to note that she even tried to deceive this police officer and continued the deception while he was questioning her and went out into the parking lot with her. She wasn't giving up. So I would ask you to weigh all of those things and to consider a probationary period for this licensee rather than a suspension.
The licensing authority ruled that San Diego's was indeed in violation of its license and placed the restaurant on probation for a year with a suspended suspension. That means if no other incidents occur within a year, the restaurant will not have to undergo a one-day license suspension. In other news, the Barnstable School Committee meets this evening at 7. That meeting will be televised live on Channel 18 and also streamed through the town's website. I'm Sarah Colvin with Barnstable Today.